In Chicago, Illinois, you now must be 21 years old to purchase cigarettes, actually all types of tobacco. 170 local jurisdictions around the country had already made the change from an 18 years of age requirement to buy cigarettes to 21 years of age. And now, this week, Chicago is raising the age to buy cigarettes and tobacco to 21. As we know, nearly 500,000 people a year in the U.S. die from tobacco use and exposure to secondhand smoke. This makes tobacco the leading cause of preventable death in the United States. According to the National Survey on Drug Use and Health, more than 80% of adult smokers smoked their first cigarette before they turned 18. Nearly 95% started before they turned 21. Historically, in 1920, at least a third of U.S. states had the minimum sale age of 21, but there was huge lobbying by the tobacco industry, in addition to their huge lobbying during the 60s and 70s, suggesting that it's actually not even really that unhealthy or unhealthy at all to smoke cigarettes. And so we have to think, every time we talk about this, Lewis, many people say this is so stupid. You're not going to prevent people from smoking by raising the age to 21. It's going to make no difference at all. It appears not to be true. We can look at Needham, Massachusetts, very close to our studio. In 2005, they were the first town in the U.S. to put in place a law raising the buying age to 21. Now, you can say they can go to the next town over. 18, 19, and 20-year-olds can go to the next town over. They can get somebody to buy cigarettes for them. All of those things are true. And yet, smoking rates went down by 47%. 3 times as much in the 4 years following as rates in the towns surrounding. So you could also say, who cares if smoking rates went down, David? Smoking rates have been going down everywhere, right? But we're comparing, and the smoking rates went down more in Needham than in surrounding towns. In New York, this was a Bloomberg-favored law, went into effect in 2014. It set off a wave of other cities following suit. New York combined that with outrageously high taxes on cigarettes, and that has led to a significantly lower than the national average smoking rate. So I do believe that this makes a difference, Lewis, because there are some people, it's sort of like with gun safety laws or whatever law you pass. No, the law is not going to physically prevent individuals who want to shoot up a movie theater or who want to get cigarettes at age 18 from getting them. But it is going to reduce the number of people who can legally buy them for you. It is going to make it somewhat more inconvenient to get cigarettes. And if you delay the first cigarette for people, we know that that reduces the number of people who ultimately start smoking. So we know that this works. The question is, from some, is it the nanny state of the government? I believe it is not.
I wouldn't call anything related, any law passed related to cigarettes like this nanny state. Cigarettes serve absolutely no purpose. They are not good for anything. It's basically just a poison that people get addicted to, and somehow it's legal.
Yeah.
So cigarettes should not exist at all. Cigarettes should not be legal. Unfortunately, the lobbying power of these massive companies has had a stranglehold on us for some time. That might be changing now.
Now, you aren't suggesting that individuals who want to grow a tobacco plant and roll cigarettes, that the government should come in and by force arrest them. But you're saying as a sort of business that's regulated and sanctioned by state and federal governments, cigarettes should not be a business. Exactly.
By all means, if you want to grow tobacco and smoke it, that's your prerogative. But maybe I would say that you can't be able to sell it to other people.
Now, there are those who would point to this and say, this is sort of like the war on drugs. We know that making marijuana illegal has not been effective. It's actually led to any number of disasters. But there actually is new evidence along the marijuana lines as well, which I want to look at. But I believe that this is actually 2 different things. And I think that it is incorrect to see marijuana and cigarettes and alcohol as the same. I think we have to look at each issue individually.
They're all different. And to compare it to marijuana is absurd. Marijuana has medicinal properties. You will not find a cigarette with medicinal properties.
GameFly is sort of like Netflix for video games. They have over 8,000 new and classic games for Xbox One, Xbox 360, PS4, PS3, Wii, and a bunch of other platforms. And you can play as many games as you want for one monthly fee. And if you find some games you want to keep, you can buy them for a low used price. There's never any due dates or late fees, and our audience can get a free 30-day trial at gameflyoffer.com/TDPS. The games are shipped directly to you with return envelopes included. There's no contracts, and you can rent games through the mobile app. Get the free 30-day trial for the David Pakman Show audience and support our show by going to gameflyoffer.com/TDPS.